audio-only version on our Telegram channel. AITA for disowning my sister and refusing to forgive my parents for hiding her secret family. I'm a 36-year-old guy living in a smallish town in Ohio, USA. Life was pretty good, all things considered. I work as a project manager for a construction company, decent pay, nothing flashy, but enough to own a modest house and save for the future. My girlfriend, Mia, 34, and I have been together for 4 years, living together for 2. She's a nurse, kind but tough, the kind of person who'd stay calm during an apocalypse. We were talking about getting engaged, maybe starting a family soon. Things felt stable, you know. My family was close, or so I thought. My younger sister, Lauren, 32, is a graphic designer, always the artistic one, a bit flaky but charming. Growing up, we were best friends, shared secrets, covered for each other's dumb teenage mistakes. Our parents, Karen, 61, and Tom, 63, are retired teachers, the kind of Midwest folks who host potlucks and volunteer at church. They're not perfect. Karen's a control freak, Tom's a pushover, but I always thought they had my back. Then there's my oldest friend, Nate, 36, a real estate agent in town. We've been tight since middle school, played football together, even took the same gap year to backpack across Europe. Nate's the guy you call when life goes sideways, always there with a beer and a bad joke. Last summer, August 2024, I was on a job site, overseeing a new strip mall build. It was a big project, lots of pressure, but I was handling it. I just got a text from Mia about dinner plans when my phone rang. It was an unknown number, which I usually ignore, but something told me to pick up. A woman's voice, shaky, said, "Are you Lauren's brother?" I said, "Yeah," confused. She introduced herself as Claire, said she needed to meet me, that it was about Lauren. I asked if my sister was okay, and she just said, "It's complicated. Can we talk in person?" My gut dropped, but I agreed to meet her at a coffee shop the next day. I barely slept that night, wondering what Claire wanted. Was Lauren in trouble? Drugs? Debt? She'd been distant lately, missing family dinners, but I figured she was just busy with freelance gigs. The next day, I met Claire at a quiet cafe. She was in her late 20s, nervous, clutching a folder. She didn't waste time. "Lauren's been lying to you," she said. "She has another family, a husband and a son, in Chicago." I laughed, thinking it was a prank. Lauren married, with a kid. She was single, living in a tiny apartment downtown, always posting artsy photos on Instagram. But Claire wasn't joking. She pulled out photos from the folder, Lauren with a guy mid-30s holding a boy about 5 years old. There were documents too, a marriage certificate from 2019 listing Lauren and some guy named Ethan as husband and wife, and a birth certificate for their son, Noah. My head spun. I asked Claire who she was. She said she was Ethan's sister, and she'd just found out Lauren was married to her brother while also living a double life in our town, pretending to be single. Claire explained that Ethan thought Lauren was a traveling freelancer, spending half her time in Ohio for work. But Claire got suspicious when Lauren's work trips didn't add up. She'd found Lauren's social media, saw her posing as a carefree single woman, no mention of a husband or kid. Claire confronted Lauren, who begged her not to tell Ethan, saying she'd fix it. Claire didn't buy it and tracked me down, thinking I deserved to know. I was floored. Lauren, my sister, had a secret family. For years, I thanked Claire, took copies of the documents, and drove home in a daze. Mia was at work, so I sat alone, staring at the photos. Lauren looked happy, like a different person. I called her, but it went to voicemail. I texted, "We need to talk, now." No reply. The next day, I drove to Lauren's apartment. She opened the door, looking frazzled, like she knew why I was there. I didn't beat around the bush, showed her the photos, and asked, "What the hell is this?" She froze, then started crying, saying it wasn't what it looked like. I wasn't having it. I demanded the truth. Lauren admitted everything. She'd met Ethan 6 years ago at a design conference in Chicago. They hit it off, got married in a small ceremony, and had Noah a year later. She didn't want to give up her life in Ohio, her friends, her clients, our family. So she lied to Ethan, saying her freelance work required her to split time between cities. She'd spend 2 weeks in Chicago, 2 weeks here, juggling 2 lives. Ethan thought she was building her career. Our family thought she was single. She swore she was going to tell us, eventually, but it was easier to keep lying. I was livid. How could she lie to everyone? To me, I asked why she didn't just move to Chicago or bring Ethan and Noah here. She said she loved Ethan but didn't want to be tied down to one life. She liked the freedom of being single in Ohio, going to bars, dating casually. I felt sick. My sister, the person I thought I knew better than anyone, was a stranger. Then came the kicker. I asked if our parents knew. Lauren looked away, then nodded. "They found out 2 years ago," she whispered. Karen had seen a text from Ethan on Lauren's phone, confronted her, and Lauren spilled. Our parents told her to come clean to me and Ethan, but when she didn't, they did nothing. They kept her secret, even from me, because they didn't want to tear the family apart. I left Lauren's apartment, shaking with anger. My parents, who I thought were honest, salt-of-the-earth people, had been lying to my face for years. I drove to their house, barely keeping it together. When I confronted them, Karen started sobbing, saying they were protecting me, that I was too busy with work and Mia to handle the truth. Tom just sat there, saying nothing, as usual. I told them they betrayed me as much as Lauren did. I walked out, ignoring their pleas to stay and talk. I went home and told Mia everything. She was as shocked as I was, but she stayed calm, helped me process it. She said I needed to decide what I wanted. Did I confront Ethan, tell him the truth? Did I cut Lauren off? My parents? I didn't know. I felt like my entire family was a lie. I called Nate, needing someone outside the family to vent to. He came over with beers, listened to the whole story, and said Lauren's double life was some soap opera shit. He urged me to tell Ethan. Claire deserved her brother to know the truth, and so did Noah. I agreed, but needed time to think. That night, I couldn't sleep, haunted by the image of Lauren with her secret son, my nephew I didn't know existed. A week later, I met Claire again. She gave me Ethan's contact info, saying he deserved to know, but she didn't have the heart to tell him herself. I called him, introduced myself as Lauren's brother, and asked to meet. He sounded confused but agreed. We met at a park in Chicago, a neutral spot. Ethan was a decent guy, quiet, a software engineer, clearly devoted to Lauren and Noah. I hated what I had to do, but I showed him the evidence. Lauren's social media, her single life in Ohio, the dates that didn't add up. He went pale, then angry, then just broken. He thanked me for telling him, said he needed to think, and left. 2 days later, Lauren called me, screaming. Ethan had confronted her, and she admitted everything. He was filing for divorce and full custody of Noah. She blamed me, said I'd ruined her life, that I should have stayed out of it. I told her she did this to herself, then hung up. I blocked her number. I was done. A month later, things got weirder. I was trying to move on, focusing on work and Mia, when Claire reached out again. She said Ethan had found something while going through Lauren's stuff, bank statements showing large, unexplained deposits to an account Lauren never mentioned. Thousands of dollars wired from an offshore account. Ethan thought it might be tied to her freelance work, but the amounts were too big, $50,000 here, $30,000 there. Claire asked if I knew anything about it. I didn't, but it raised red flags. Lauren's design gigs were small potatoes, not the kind of work that pulls in that kind of cash. I hired a private investigator, recommended by Nate, to dig into it. Mia thought I was crazy, but I needed answers. The pie, a guy named Vince, was expensive but thorough. 2 weeks later, he had a report. Lauren was involved in some shady online scheme. She'd been designing fake websites for a company that was a front for money laundering. The deposits were payments for her work, funneled through shell companies. Worse, there was evidence our parents knew, not the full extent, but enough. Karen had helped Lauren set up a separate bank account, thinking it was for tax purposes. Tom signed off on it, too, without asking questions. I confronted my parents again. Karen admitted they'd helped Lauren with the account, but swore they didn't know it was illegal. She said Lauren told them it was for a big client, and they believed her because they didn't want to lose her. I was disgusted. They weren't just covering for her double life, they were enabling something criminal. I told them I needed space, maybe forever. Karen begged me to reconsider, but I walked out, again. I gave Ethan's lawyer, a sharp woman named Rachel, all the pie's findings. She used them in the divorce case, arguing Lauren was unfit to have custody of Noah due to her criminal ties. The judge agreed, granting Ethan full custody, with Lauren getting limited supervised visitation. Lauren was furious, leaving me voicemails saying I'd destroyed her family, that I was a terrible brother. I didn't respond. The money laundering thing was bigger than I thought. The pie tipped off the authorities and the FBI got involved. Lauren wasn't the mastermind, just a cog in a larger operation, but she was questioned and released on bail, facing charges for fraud. My parents weren't charged, but they were humiliated, their church friends whispering about the scandal. I didn't feel sorry for them. They made their choice. Mia was my rock through it all. She helped me stay grounded, even when I wanted to spiral. We started planning our engagement, something to look forward to. Nate was there too, always checking in, keeping me sane. But then came another twist. The pie found a connection between Lauren's scheme and someone in our town. A real estate developer, one of Nate's clients. I asked Nate if he knew anything, and he got weirdly defensive, saying he barely knew the guy. It didn't sit right, but I let it go. I trusted Nate. He was my best friend, right? 3 months later, I got a call from Vince, the pie. He'd been digging deeper into the money laundering ring and found texts on a burner phone Lauren had left at our parents' house. The texts were between her and Nate, my best friend. He wasn't just aware of Lauren's scheme. He was in on it, referring her to the developer for side work. Nate had been playing me, acting sympathetic while knowing everything. I confronted Nate at his office. He tried to deny it, but when I showed him copies of the texts, Vince was thorough. He broke down. He said he got sucked in by the money, that he didn't think it would hurt anyone. He swore he never meant to screw me over, that he kept it from me to protect me. I didn't buy it. I told him we were done, walked out, and haven't spoken to him since. The FBI arrested Nate a week later. He's facing charges alongside Lauren. The developer turned out to be a big fish, and the feds were closing in on him too. My parents, still reeling from Lauren's mess, were devastated about Nate. They'd treated him like a second son. Karen tried to call me, saying I was being too hard on everyone. That family forgives. I told her I wasn't ready to talk and hung up. It's been 8 months since the arrests. I'm still in Ohio, still with Mia. We got engaged last month, a quiet moment at home with takeout and a ring I'd been saving for. She's been my anchor, helping me navigate the wreckage of my family. I'm in therapy now, trying to process the betrayal. It's hard. Lauren, my parents, Nate, they were my foundation, and now they're gone. Lauren's out on bail, living with our parents, but her trial's coming up. She pleaded guilty to lesser charges, hoping for probation. Ethan's raising Noah in Chicago, and I've met my nephew a few times. He's a sweet kid, loves dinosaurs. I'm trying to be in his life, but it's complicated with Ethan's divorce still raw. My parents keep reaching out, but I'm not ready to forgive. They made choices, hiding Lauren's lies, enabling her crimes, that I can't just brush off. Work's been a lifeline. The strip mall project wrapped up, and I got a promotion. Mia and I are planning a small wedding next year, something simple, just us and a few close friends. I don't talk to Nate anymore, and I don't plan to. The FBI case is ongoing, but I'm staying out of it. Vince keeps me updated, but I'm done playing detective. Update 1. Mia and I are deep in wedding planning, which is a welcome distraction. Noah's doing well. Ethan sent me a video of him at a school play, dressed as a T-Rex. It made me smile, but it hurts knowing Lauren's missing it. She's still awaiting sentencing, and I hear she's been going to therapy, trying to fix herself. I don't know if I believe it. My parents showed up at my house unannounced last week, wanting to talk. I let them in, mostly for Mia's sake. She thinks I'll regret cutting them off completely. It was tense. Karen apologized, said they were wrong to cover for Lauren, but I told them trust isn't rebuilt with one conversation. Tom just nodded like always. I said I'd think about it, but I'm not there yet. The FBI case took a turn. Nate flipped on the developer, giving up names for a lighter sentence. He tried to reach out through a mutual friend, saying he's sorry, but I'm not interested. Some bridges stay burned. Update 2. The wedding was beautiful, just us, Ethan, Noah, and a handful of friends. Noah was the ring bearer, tripping over his tiny suit but grinning the whole time. Mia looked like a dream, and for the first time in forever, I felt hopeful. We're talking about buying a bigger house, maybe starting a family soon. Lauren got probation and community service, a lighter sentence than she deserved. She wrote me a letter apologizing, saying she's trying to be better for Noah. I haven't responded. I might someday, but not now. My parents are making an effort, coming to therapy with me once a month. It's slow, painful, but it's something. The company's doing great, and I'm mentoring a new guy at work, which feels good. Nate's out of jail, working some dead-end job. I saw him at a gas station last month, didn't say a word, just kept walking. I'm learning to let go of the anger, but forgiveness, that's a long way off. Update 3. I'm writing this from our new house, a fixer-upper we bought last month. Mia's painting the nursery. She's pregnant, due in 6 months. Noah visits sometimes, and we're building a bond. He calls me Uncle Jake, which makes me tear up every time. Lauren's trying to rebuild her life, working a legit design job now. She's seen Noah twice, supervised, and Ethan says she's doing better. I'm still keeping my distance, but I don't hate her anymore. My parents are more involved, helping with the house, and we're slowly finding a new normal. The past still stings, but I'm focused on what's ahead, my kid, my wife, my life. I found an old photo of me, Lauren, and Nate from high school in a box while unpacking. I kept it, not sure why, maybe as a reminder of who I was and who I'm becoming. AITA for cutting off Lauren and Nate and keeping my parents at arm's length, for blowing up their lives by exposing the truth, or am I too angry, too unforgiving? Let me know what you think. I'll update if anything big happens. Thanks for reading. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss new stories.